SpiderMan. Okay, so speaking of Avengers Doomsday, we had some interesting stuff with Spider-Man. So there's been rumors that Spider-Man is not going to be in Avengers Doomsday, uh, which is so interesting because months ago we were hearing that Spider-Man was going to be the main character of Doomsday and Secret Wars because right now he's kind of the most popular character the MCU has since they don't have someone like a Steve Rogers Captain America, a Tony Stark Iron Man, even T'Challa Black Panther isn't around. So it's like, who is our most famous hero that people just love to see no matter what? Peter Parker. But I always was worried about that because I'm like, yeah, but that's a Sony character. Why would they, put so much on Tom Holland when Marvel doesn't really even own him and have no say on what to do with him? Well, so when we were getting the casting announcements and things like that for Avengers Doomsday, Tom Holland was off those lists a lot. And now we kind of know why, because as of right now, it still seemed like he wasn't going to be part of the movie. So we had Daniel RPK let us know that Marvel Studios plans on including Spider-Man in Avengers Doomsday and is currently working on closing a deal to do so. This deal is finally happening right now with Tom Holland because he has finished filming his scenes in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. That's the movie he got cast in with Zendaya. And I think he's got like a small space of a break before he jumps into Spider-Man Brand New Day. So in the small window he finally has, which I'm assuming they didn't know if he would have, because who knows how long it would have taken for him to do the stuff with Christopher Nolan, because that's a high priority movie for him. Christopher Nolan's a big director. If for some reason his scenes took longer, or the shoot was delayed, well, it wouldn't have made sense to already have him be in Doomsday if they couldn't guarantee he'd even be on set since he was busy with The Odyssey. But now that he's done with The Odyssey and he's got this free time, we're hearing that Marvel is trying to lock in a deal to get him in the movie. So two things about that. One, it sounds like the rumors were true. There was a real possibility Avengers Doomsday was just not going to include Tom Holland in the movie because, well, they already have so many other characters, so many other things going on. I guess they just didn't want to pin it all on him, and with scheduling and stuff like that, wasn't available. Two, now that Tom is looking to be in the movie, he's not going to be in it for very long. If you guys remember, whenever Captain America Civil War was coming out, there was rumors back then that they had a script with Spider-Man and a script without Spider-Man in case they couldn't get a deal down for the rights to Spider-Man. And it feels like this is the exact same situation. Is there's probably a version of Doomsday that has some Spider-Man in it, and there's a version of Doomsday without some Spider-Man in it. We're going to get the version with him in it. So I think it's just going to be like a couple of scenes. It'd be nice if he's a big chunk of the movie, but it seems like they already have so much more going on. And if anything, I think they'll just set him up for Secret Wars, right? To have him be a bigger player in there, because he's got to have a big part in Secret Wars. Like, there's a freaking Spider-Man cover with him in the black suit. You got to have Spider-Man as a big part of Secret Wars. Finally, that's good to know. I was getting really worried we weren't going to have him. But it also makes me like, dang, so is he even going to interact with Tony Stark in the movie, or Doctor Doom, or Robert Downey Jr.? Because we were like, well, that's one relationship that's going to be traumatizing, because he's like, oh, Mr. Stark, you're evil? I hate you 3000. No, that's iconic, man. We got to get that scene. So there's that. Hopefully it ends up being a nice chunky amount of time and they can sprinkle him all throughout the movie. But there you go. He will be in it, but it looks like he won't be in it for much. The other updates we were getting about Spider-Man, this one just happened, which I thought was interesting. With Spider-Man Brand New Day. Let's see if I can pull it up. Okay, this is coming again from Daniel RPK, where he's saying Spider-Man Brand New Day is reportedly being filmed in several locations outside of the UK, including Italy. Now, this is interesting for a few reasons. Now, if you don't know, the UK right now is where Marvel has kind of set up their base. So and I think even a lot of the Spider-Man movies do there. Basically what I'm saying is the UK can be made to look like New York, and movies will make movies in the UK to look like New York because it's cheaper and it's easier for them to do. So it wasn't weird that the movie was being filmed in the UK, because it's like, we know they can make that look like New York and the movie will most likely be set in New York. But now Daniel RPK is telling us that there's actually going to be several locations, and one of them includes Italy, and Italy is where they filmed a lot of scenes for Spider-Man Far From Home. Okay. This is worrying me a bit. This is worrying me. I don't know what this means for the movie. Because look, well, I talked about it. I think on the last live stream, there was some details that were revealed that seemed way too good to be true. That I hope they are. Where the director, Destin Daniel Cretton, was like, "I'll do the movie, but you got to remove the multiverse stuff. I want to kind of soft reboot Spider-Man. That's brand new day. Kind of put him back in there, street level story, and then maybe Mr. Negative, guy who runs Feast, would be a villain in there, and stuff like that. Like to me, that sounded really exciting." But now, like, there's just it was still uncertainty, and some of the things I just didn't love about the Tom Holland trilogy, although I like it, it's not a lot of time in New York, man. Not a lot of time in New York. I mean, No Way Home, even then, barely felt like they got to take advantage of the New York landscape because it was filmed during COVID. So they had to do a lot of things indoors and in closed spaces. So it was a lot more scenes of him being inside a room, inside this living room, inside that room. It wasn't really him getting to swing all that much or really feel like New York is a character the way it does in Andrew or Toby's movies. And so, Homecoming, they had that whole sequence where he went to Washington, D.C., and he's climbing up that thing trying to save his friends from the elevator. Here it seems like, okay, there's going to be another excuse to maybe travel abroad again. Are these going to be repercussions from Doomsday? Is this going to be something else? Like, it just makes me wonder. Like, it might be flashbacks. Some people, like, I thought about that too. Like, what if it's flashbacks, or there's like maybe a time inclusion thingy in there where we like go back through the past? But they also say several locations outside of the UK. That's interesting. Like, some Spider-Man going all over the place a little bit. That's a little interesting about why they do that. I like Spider-Man in New York, man, and I just feel the MCU hasn't done a great job of being like, "Hey, this is Spider-Man. This is his territory. This is his land." But honestly, maybe it'll be an excuse for why he wasn't around to help Daredevil when Kingpin was outlawing vigilantes. Maybe it is Kingpin's outlaw vigilante that he's like, "Dang, I guess I gotta get on Zillow and find a new home somewhere else." I don't know. We'll see. It could be a bunch of nothing, but yeah, we'll see what happens with there. Let me see what else we had about Spider-Man Brand New Day. This one, take it with a major grain of salt, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even believe it. I don't think it's credible. Let's see here if I can get it. Yeah. So this is coming from Jeff Snyder, who is right on some stuff and is sometimes so spot on. I will have to mention them on the channel, but I feel lately when it comes to Spider-Man and Marvel, dude's been missing and looks like he's just throwing stuff at the wall. So he recently got on a live stream and he said that Sadie Sink is actually playing Mayday Parker in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, keep in mind, just a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago, he was also saying Sadie Sink was actually Jean Grey in the movie. And so now he's saying it's Mayday. So I don't believe a thing he's saying. And at this point, I'm just starting to think she's just going to end up playing a classmate of Peter's. That's really all I get from this. Is she's just going to be someone at the college that is there with Peter. And that's about as far as it'll go, as far as I know. The Mayday stuff, again, it's just hard to believe. As much as I want that, like I've said, like, I think that's a great theory. If they want to do the multiverse thing and they want to bring back Toby and Andrew and all that, fine. Put Mayday in there, have it a thing where it gives us in some insight to like what Tobey Maguire is like as a father. Build out that universe a little bit, make it worth my while as a fan. Because No Way Home, we got some great moments, but we didn't get to find out, man, what have they been doing all these years? What have they been up to? I want to know what their life is like. And maybe Toby just didn't want to mention that he had a child because he knew it could affect his life in this universe. Where it's like, well, if I tell me as a kid with this person, it might not happen. So I might as well keep my mouth shut. Maybe it'll happen for him, But yeah, I'd like the idea of Mayday because I think Mayday is a cool character, but I'm just not believing this. I'm not believing it. Some people, saying Gwen. Other people are bringing up Jackpot. I just don't know how big of a character Jackpot is to pop her into a movie. But I guess we are starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel now with like Spider-Man characters because we're bringing in Mr. Negative, which is only cool to me because I played it because he was a character in the video game. But Jackpot is like it's barely someone I'm all that familiar with, and they were thinking about making a movie, and it wouldn't be someone that makes me jump up and down. I just want to see like Scorpion. I want to see Vulture come back. I want to see Shocker get a new classic suit. But yeah, so there you go. That's what's happening there. Let's see here. Why would Mayday be in the movie without Toby? Well, see, if they're doing the incursion thing, or if they're doing the thing where people are slipping into the universe because we're leading to Avengers Doomsday, this would be a nice pre-effect to that, right? This would be a nice way to like Spider-Man can have his adventure and then he investigates why this happened and it leads us into Doomsday where worlds are colliding, people are coming in. So to me that's why, but I think Toby would definitely have to be in it unless she somehow popped in without Toby. That would be weird. Black Cat, you see, it's weird to me because I still see Sadie Sink as just very young. She just looks like a child. And when I think of Black Cat, I think of someone seductive. I think of somebody sexy who uses their body as a weapon to seduce Spider-Man, but her ultimate purpose is to, steal diamonds or get on the upper hand. I just can't see that from Sadie Sink right now. That's why I saw more like like a Sydney Sweeney or an Anya Taylor-Joy as a Black Cat. But maybe it's a reimagined version of Black Cat that isn't as as seductive. That could happen. Harriet Osborn, dude, that is the funniest one. So many people saying she's gonna end up being Harriet Osborn. I just think that's such a funny name. It's Osborn, Harriet Osborn. Why not, man? Honestly, I see that more than the Black Cat, if I'm being for real. Yeah, so I don't know. Harriet Osborn would be so funny, man. I still like my fan theory, which I know people hate it, but I'm like, the MCU is crazy enough to do it, where Norman Osborn is gonna be a student at whatever college Peter is in, and he's gonna be the same age as Peter. And Peter's going to recognize that name, Norman, and is going to want to keep an eye on that guy. And he could end up being the new Harry. Because right now, Oscorp doesn't exist in the MCU. So that means we have to see Oscorp being built from the ground up. It's not just going to appear one day and be like, oh, Oscorp's a thing. This guy over here, he made it. What if Oscorp is a thing Peter builds with Norman? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, Norman Osborn post credit scene. That would be my way to go, dude. I'd like to see him get his own version of a goblin. But yeah, someone said Norman is dead in the MCU. That would be wild. But yeah, that's what's going on right now with Spider-Man and all this. I'm just kind of happy to hear they're gonna be able to get him into some scenes for Spider-Man Avengers Doomsday. Spider-Man Avengers Doomsday, sorry, for Doomsday. And yeah, we'll see what happens with Brand New Day. It's just so funny. Every now and then we just get information that ping pongs us back and forth about, oh, it's a classic Spider-Man New York story. He's going to be going to Italy and several different locations. Oh, so it's going to be more like Far From Home. Oh, okay. What's happening here? We'll see. We'll see.